heaven. Welcome back to the greatest colloquium captus in existence. Adventures in bad taste. Words will live. Words will die. Or whatever the hell that means. Without further ado, the triumvirate of terror. EJ, Raytron, and Vanguard. That's me. Shit.
He cut himself
Drop my
off. He cut himself off. Yo, you know what? Nah, we keeping it. We're keeping
I
it.
give it up to him. Yeah, give it up to him for that,
We're
man.
keeping that in there.
That was a
There
hell
are
of an
no
intro.
blooper reels. So
you're keeping the part where I dropped my camera in there?
that shit was hilarious. 100%.
That's funny.
Yeah,
All right.
Editor's keeping that in.
So,
Anyway, so what?
I guess we could get right into it, right?
Yeah.
Right into it.
Recently, you guys have. I want to get before we get into the actual conversation. I want to get into. Oh, I screwed up my own. Sorry. Hold on. Let me fix that. Whatever. I'm just gonna be in shadowed for now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyways, so recently Jada Smith came out and said that she agrees that Will Smith overreacted when he smacked Chris Rock at the Oscars. Now, I wanted to get your guys' opinions on Jada saying this. Do you think she was right? Do you think she should have said it? How do you guys feel about her airing out those grievances?
Honestly, bro, this whole situation should have been handled in private. Like, none of it should be happening on screen. Like Will should not have slapped my man across the face. And even if he did, he shouldn't have done it in the middle of the stage like that. Like, all this should have happened in private. Could have been talking like, hey, I know jokes is jokes, but can you not, like, talk about my wife like that? You know, like, have it in private. All this should be in private. This was gross, right? And then for her to say that in light of, like, bro, Will is a villain right now. So her husband is a villain right now. And then she just went and doubled down and was like, yes, that man is evil. How dare he? You know, like,
I think she did. I think she did say that she understands why he did it. So she tried to throw him a little bit.
Everyone says they understands why they do it, you know? Like, Aber and Preach was talking about how they understand why he did it, but
Not that to preach.
Like he definitely shouldn't have done it, you know? Like, bro, honestly, I don't understand why he did it. I don't understand why he did it. Cause he's Will Smith, you know? Like, he's bigger than this. He's bigger than himself. Yeah, he is. He's Will fucking Smith, bro. Like, I'm telling you, it's like every time that man has had like a little like spotlight on him, something goes wrong. Right immediately afterwards, bro. Like immediately after, something goes wrong. Something goes wrong. What are your opinions on her statements?
Yeah, you go ahead, EJ.
I don't know. I kind of take issue with it only for the simple fact of like the whole reason he acted in that way was in defense of you. Like apparently, you know, like the reaction on her face because he laughed at it initially, right? Like he thought it was funny. Then saw her reaction and then was like, "Oh nah, like I got to do something." So like the whole point of him doing that was to defend, you know, her honor. So for her to come back and then say that shit, it's just like, damn, like if I'm Will Smith in that situation, like I wouldn't expect my wife to make a statement about it after, you know, she's clearly aware of the reason why he did it. So I think, you know, she would just be I mean, I guess someone could say like, yeah, like you're supposed to have having my back is also calling me out when I'm wrong or whatever. But in this specific instance, it was really in defense of her. Like it was because of what Chris Rock said. So I think I was just surprised by that, honestly. Like, but yeah, I agree with Ray. Everything he said, like, it should have been handled privately. You don't just you don't just like fly off the handle like that in public. And people keep making it like not at the Oscars, like oh my God, the Oscars. But my whole sentiment is in general, yeah. Like, why is it? Oh, well, just the Oscars. Like, don't do that. The Oscars. Like, no, just on a human level, you shouldn't behave like that, regardless of where you're at. If you're at a school play, you know, or you're just at a public event, like, you shouldn't be. That shouldn't be allowed. Like, period. And I'm still shocked I'm still shocked they didn't escort Will Smith out like from the event after that. Like,
Bro,
what event?
it's been such a controversy for
Like,
some
what?
reason.
That's why I thought it was staged too. Because like, how you just let the man sit there? I know he was there for the award, but
He
how
was
you let
there
the
for
man
the
sit there?
award. He was at the after
Yeah,
party. Like everyone was memeing about how like man's really acting
yeah.
like it didn't happen.
Bro,
So
any public event, you act like that. You
Reports,
put hands on
they were,
somebody. You get escorted out by security. Like,
wait, what?
according to reports, they were gunned. The police were considering pressing charges, but I think something stopped them. I don't remember what it was.
at the very least, whether or not he got like charges pressed against him, at the very least, I thought he should be escorted out, even though it wasn't like serious. But you just don't keep somebody there after acting like that.
It's
You
like
don't you
he's
don't
in
do
the
that.
front row. He was. That's the only reason this was able to happen. He was in front row.
Yeah,
Like he was basically on the stage already. You know.
No, I mean, leading in this kind of leads into what I was talking about next, where because well, first I'll say I agree with everything you guys said. Like, honestly, you guys said everything I would have said about like the whole not doing it in public, the whole this was for your benefit in the first place, and then you
yeah.
kind of throw him under the bus publicly. Everything you guys said pretty much sums up my thoughts on the matter. So there's almost no point in me continuing. I'm just going to repeat what you guys said. But leading into something Eric mentioned, where he said he did it in defense of her. Now, this brings me back to the topic that I initially was thinking about, where do you think there's a point in which you can be too pacifistic, or should pacifism be a general rule that you follow? Like you should try to be pacifistic in every circumstance.
I
What
feel.
are you guys' opinions on
Uh, I feel like there's very, very, very few situations in which you gotta actually strike a person. I know we joke about it, like like joking about being super tough, but it's like, bro, we too old for that shit. Like, what about
Yeah,
what? How would I look like scrapping in the streets and over what? Over what? Like, you
yeah.
really think about it. What do you for her honor? What the fuck is her honor, bro? Like, what does that even mean? Like, well, this isn't the fucking 1800s, bro. You just like grab a glove and you're like, have at thee, sir. Like, what the fuck am I doing, bro? And then
Yeah.
like I get an assault charge, and now I'm going to jail or prison, or I don't know the distinction between the two. And then it's like, and then she's like, what? She's looking at me through a glass, being like, "Thank you." Like, bitch. Like, what the fuck? So no,
It's
like
not
you
worth
really
it. Not worth it.
like, and even like I don't even mean it like just for your significant other. I like I said, very few situations. If someone is threatening you with violence, and like they're like about to swing on you, like you might have to defend yourself. But I don't even think that like goes against pacifism. I don't know specifically, but I don't think defending yourself goes
Yeah,
against.
self defense. Like that's self defense.
that? There
It's
are
not
different
really.
levels of pacifism, so
Yeah,
it
that's what I was
doesn't.
like. I don't know, but like like if it's self defense, that's different. But if you really can't take someone just talking shit, that's on you. That's
Yeah.
your problem.
I mean, but there's levels to. I mean, even if you want to say like shit talking, you don't react regardless because you're too old for that. But it's like at a certain point, everybody has a limit to like how much they could take. Like and not saying that that should be Will Smith's limit. Like, okay, so he
That's a
cracked a
real low
joke
limit.
about
Real low
yeah, like
limit.
that's yeah, man, it shouldn't be that. Like, obviously the threshold should be higher, but like that's the whole question, right? Like, should there, even be a threshold for if like striking somebody? Like, should there never, be anything to get you to that point? But I think there should, like if somebody, depending on what somebody said, like um if it means like uh if it's something like really really sensitive, like you talk about like somebody that passed that you were close with, something that just really affects you sentimental in a sentimental way, like you're gonna have that reaction. So
The
I just
reason,
think depending on what it is, it really would push you to that point, and it would probably be necessary because even the person that like if it's not jokes like and they're just like trying to piss you off, like the person knows like they're trying to get you to that point, they're provoking you, so they should be expecting you to react in that manner. It's not like you acting like you're acting violent, but it's not like you're being what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's not like you're being unreasonable or you're doing something that's
Oh, was it irrational? Were you
uncharacteristic
looking for irrational?
or yeah, rational. Yeah, like you're
I
not
mean,
doing nothing
both
crazy.
both kind of relate. Yeah.
So, but like
Yeah,
the
yeah, it's not you're
difference.
not acting irrational by doing that. Like if somebody said something about like a close family member or your kids or like just a topic that should never even be uttered at all,
But
then
but
yeah,
the reason I think there's a difference is like, why are you around these type of people? Like, if you're in a situation where
yeah,
like, say it's a stranger saying this stuff, it's like, all right, like in my mind, I would just leave. I would remove myself from the situation before I'm gonna start boxing people, you know. And then like,
yeah,
I'm probably never gonna see this person again. I feel like there's other options before you get to that point. It's like
yeah, for sure, yeah,
even if you started talking some wild shit about someone who's passed, like if you're a stranger, like I said, remove yourself from the situation. If it's someone who you're so called close with and they start doing that shit, they're not close to you, bro. They're not close to you. Dead that man. Dead
so,
that
Yeah,
shit,
man.
bro. Dead that
like
shit.
some people could do like do what you're saying, like take that option, just walk away, forget about what was said, and other people they feel like nah, like they have to pay in a way for speaking in that in the, you know
See,
for saying
that's where
something like that.
that's like where it's like I feel like you should never allow someone to have that much control over you, where a simple utterance from them can transform you into a dangerous, maniac. Like
Yeah,
you should try your best to control you to have as much control over your own emotions and thoughts as possible. Like it shouldn't other people shouldn't be able to elicit such strong emotions out of you. I
Yeah.
know like to a level you can't control it, so
yeah,
they'll
you're
just do
human though.
whatever.
You're human
But
though.
you should
You're
try
human.
your hardest. You get what I mean? To
Yeah,
avoid people from eliciting those responses.
And on that note, I feel like
it
just
shouldn't be the
speaking,
default
bro.
option for sure. Yeah,
Nah, but like just speaking, I feel like that's like such a low level. Like I know this is on a way smaller scale, but like bro, like in this game I play, if I want to make the enemy mad at me and start doing dumb shit, I know exactly what I gotta say. And
yeah,
I literally was like, look, oh, they're playing that kind of character. Watch. I literally said this to my friend who was just playing the game with me, right? I was like, yo, watch this. I just said something really stupid. I was like, your character's hair is dumb, bro. My man started running it down like the lane and just like killing himself over and over again, and we won the game. I was like, all because I said one stupid thing once. I was like, look how easy it is
yeah.
to just like mess with these people. Like, it shouldn't be that easy. Like, people start flaming me, and I'm like, yeah, nah, that shit was garbage, bro. I know, you know. like,
Yeah.
you
Your
can't let them
tolerance
hold.
should be high. Your tolerance should be high for the things that get you to that point. But at the same time, like I'm not gonna look at somebody wrong for reacting like that way. Like if somebody says something completely uncalled for and it was just like something they know, like even when they said it, like because you know how like people get into heated arguments and they say some things that they shouldn't have said, but you know they only said it because they were angry. But it's not just like it's not on a level where it's like it's gonna piss them off, but also on a level where it's like they're hitting below the belt, like they're digging deep. They're trying to really get a reaction out of you,
Nah,
and they
I
know
know
by
some people
saying
like
that they're
that.
gonna get reaction. They're gonna get that reaction by saying that.
Like,
So you can't get mad when you get that reaction and be like, "Damn, you should have been human. You should have just not let it affect you when you know how people are wired and the way they work. But like you said,
That that's
part of that person's responsibility is to work on those things and in their own individual time to work through that. But like we're not perfect. We're not a
yeah.
combination of all these things where like we have it all figured out. So
But the thing is, humans have the capacity for violence, but they also have the capacity for diplomacy. We have both possibilities within us. So to act like, we should always give someone, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess I'll say credence, sure. Credence because they went to the default of, or what you consider, or what someone would consider the default of thrashing somebody for daring to offend them by saying something so low. It neglects the fact that humans also have very high capacities for tolerance to the point that you have people who will sit there in order to make a point. They will be um, they'll get hurt, they'll starve themselves, they'll do all sorts of things
To themselves, yeah.
against their own nature. You know what I mean? Just to achieve a goal or something like that. Or like even during diplomacy, like someone will tolerate great disrespect and even great violence just because they think peace is a better option. So it's like we have both possibilities within us. I don't think you should now go to either extreme, but try to walk that line, like only in the absolute like um worst case scenario should violence ever, like Ray said, someone is trying to hurt you. They're trying to hurt you. Okay, now you pull out your fisticuffs and you get to work
Yeah.
because don't get hurt. But
Yeah.
like someone just saying something to you, it's like nah, bro. Like because then there are so many things. Like I even have a story that relates to this, and I'm fine telling it. It's not like it's like the time when me and Ray and another friend were at the pizza shop, and we were drunk. 'Cause that's part of why. But
Hmm.
I let anger get to my head, and I was gonna try and fight somebody. And then what happens? The person goes inside the store to get a box cutter. Now imagine if I had actually fought him. Now I'm bleeding out in the street. Why am I bleeding out in the street? Because some pizza guy said something mean to me, and I got mad. Imagine that's how I died. Imagine telling people in heaven that's how I died.
I know it's
I
not
mean,
funny, bro.
if you look at all of these situations that could have like led to your demise in a logical way, obviously it doesn't make sense. But
Yeah.
a lot of what drives us as humans, a lot of the things that we do, our actions, how we deal with others, is sometimes strictly emotional, and we can't see the logic
Yes,
the logic in it.
even the diplomacy aspect can be strictly emotional. Like
Yeah,
you look at like Mahatma Gandhi and a lot of even Hinduism teachings and even Buddhism. There will be things where they will literally say, like a lot of Eastern teaching actually, like never. Like they'll be even like you're getting stabbed, just let the person stab you, bro. Like it's emotional. They're like
yeah.
doing harm to others is bad. It's like an emotional. It's just as illogical as the other
But
thing
but
when
you
you
gotta
think
you
about
gotta
it.
you gotta think also by like the way the people that you referenced just now, um,
Yeah.
the way they the way they deal with those situations. Part of the reason why they are able to deal with it in such a diplomatic way is because of like how it's not just like they came to this thinking on their own. Like a lot of that is like brought up within their culture, their upbringing, and so like to ask people to have that same approach or to start moving in that direction is hard when like when they were raised differently, when the environments that they were in, when the people that they've been around, when those instances happen, or like their parents telling them how to react, like that's a,
See,
a
but
whole different
Work.
type of
nah,
thinking.
time out,
Like
time out.
once you get to that point,
See,
Yeah, go
so,
ahead.
but at that point, you're saying that like they have no agency. It's like, oh man, I'm just a slave to my environment, and that's not true either.
Exactly.
Because for
yeah,
all purposes, all three of us grew up in the same environments, or very similar environments, right? And we all turned out like particularly differently. Like me and that man down there, that Vanguard guy, me and him ain't the same. I remember
yeah,
him back in high school. He was an angry guy. He was an
yeah,
angry man. And like the other thing you were saying about how it's emotional, like both of you were right. It's both it comes from a place of emotion, but you should still be able to at some point audit yourself and be like, yeah, I am
yeah,
angry, but I'm not gonna go and like slap the dog shit out this person. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna do that. I'm like, I'll be mad. I'll be mad. I'll let that person know that they. I'm like, yo, no,
Yeah.
like that's. In fact, I've even gotten mad on my friend's behalf because they would be telling me some things, and like someone in the conversation will say some stuff to them, and this is just them retelling the story, and I'm like, wait, you let that person say that to you, and you're still friend?
yeah,
Nah, couldn't be me. Like that happened to me yesterday. Friend was telling me about some real dumb stuff, and like when they told me what this other person said, I was like, I would not be friends with this person anymore. I would literally stop talking to them, RN, because like I said, like you have the power to remove yourself from the situation, and I'm not above cutting out disrespect because that shit was real disrespectful.
And that brings up
You
something else.
you cutting people out of your life, that could be seen strictly as an emotional response instead
That's what I
of
was gonna
See,
say.
we're not even
yeah.
saying, but like the argument isn't like if you should have an emotional response. It was like,
No, not even that. I was trying to make the more argument that it could be seen as just as brash as Will Smith smacking Chris Rock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
see,
because it's like if you look at it from a logical sense, it'd be like, okay, they did something wrong to you, right? But then it's like you look at all the times that this person, if you add up all the things that they did, right? Like you outweigh the good things that they brought in your life versus the bad things, and the times that it was worth cutting them out. But then it was like that one thing that they did was so it was so egregious or whatever, heinous that you have to get rid of them. Then it's like, yeah, emotionally I feel like I have to because they did that, but then logically it's like I'm not keeping the peace though. Like I'm disturbing that peace between us.
see, the way I
Like we
looked at
had
it
this peace
was
and I'm disturbing
the
it.
way I looked at it when they told me that thing, it was like at this point there was like a bunch of negatives already, and then they added that on top of it. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, why are you
Okay,
still
yeah,
friends with this person? You know,
yeah.
like
They
I
just
definitely
added to the
looked
list.
at it logically. Like it's like okay, this person said this one bad thing once, then we could like talk it out. But it seems like this person's like I know it's a side conversation, but it seems
Yeah.
like this person isn't gonna talk it out. They're actually mad at my friend for being
And then
mad
change.
at what they just said, right? Like, and they're like
Yeah.
blaming the friend. And it was like, yo, this is unhealthy. This is not a friendship. It's really one sided. They want all this from you. You say one thing and then they do this because you're not agreeing with them. Nah, cut that shit out. Like I said, that was a side conversation. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like you can look at things logically, right? And there's no
Mhm.
problem with doing that, right? And like you can look at things emotionally, and I don't necessarily think there's a problem doing that either. But like you gotta have the balance to understand
Yeah.
when it is time to act, right? And like which side you're gonna use to act, because as you all know, like I said, I have no problem cutting people out. Like when I cut that person out of my
Yes.
life, the one that we all know, it wasn't like a fucking whim. It wasn't a whim. Like I
Yeah,
thought
it was
about
working.
that.
It was
Like I thought
working.
about it for
Yeah.
mad
Oh,
long.
yeah, it was a bunch of things before it too.
Exactly.
So
There's a
it's not
bunch of
even
things
like
before it, and then that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And like people can rag on me
not,
about it being
that's the funny
emotional, and so it's
part.
like, we're done here.
The funny part is there was no straw. It just you know what the funny part is? He caused it because when he
The camel
when he
left. There
left,
was no camel anymore. That was really the issue.
yeah.
Like there was
So
no.
when he left, he provided you the opportunity to go. Yeah, I don't want to fuck with that guy
Yeah,
anymore.
it was actually no, you're right. It's not the straw that broke the camel's back. He took all the burden off the camel, and then he was like, "Oh, you want this back?" I was like, "Nah, I'm good." I was like, "Nah, I'm straight." This is completely different, but like, yeah. So cutting people off might seem like it can be just as bad as a slap to the face, but I don't know. Like I feel like slap to the face versus
You
cutting someone off,
yeah,
they're not the same in my mind. Especially like
Yeah.
yeah, I
I
agree.
don't know, it's
Yeah,
not the same. Like I know they can seem the same, but and like I said, that slap, I don't even honestly, I don't know why he did it. Cause like Eric said, and like the video shows, he was laughing, or maybe he could have been editing, but he was laughing at the joke. Jada rolled her eyes, and then the second it took from him to go, like it was like this. The second it goes from his face to Chris, you just see him getting up. I'm like, what thought process could my man have had in the millisecond it took the camera to change? That he was like, time to go up and ruin this guy's day.
Let me ask you a question about the situation real quick. I don't want to be on this for too long, but if you guys were in Chris Rock's shoes, right, and you had guys slapped on the,
He's
I
not
guess
slapping
what
me,
they
bro. He's
call
not slapping me on TV.
one of
It's not
the
happening.
biggest.
It's not happening.
let's imagine he did. Let's imagine he did smack you.
Imagine he did, and you get slapped on known as one of the biggest stages out there. Are you going to retaliate? Is your emotional response going to be on the same wavelength?
Bro, I'm not
I'm
even
gonna
gonna
consider
lie.
this.
On some
Yeah,
I'm
reflex
gonna
shit, I'd
consider this
probably slap
our
the fuck out of him too.
I would too. I would too.
Like just on
yeah.
pure reflex, because this almost
Just
happened to me. where like I remember I was in high school and this girl like spit at me, like spit toward my direction, and like before I even realized, my hand was just like about to come across her face, and I had to catch myself. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm about to like knock this girl out, and I had to like walk away. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, and like even the teacher was like, wait, you didn't slap the shit out of her? How? I ain't getting in
That's pure
trouble. You know what I'm
instinct.
saying?
That's pure instinct acting right there.
Yeah,
That's
I
like
mean, I mean,
something is threatening me, and I have to combat it. I have to come. I have to defend myself in that moment.
while I 100% agree with Chris Rock not retaliating, and I think he did a good job, and it was very smart of him not
Yeah, it
to.
was great. But I was saying, on
I
pure
can't.
instinct,
Yeah, I want to say that I would at least. I think there would be a split second
What would
when I
you
was
do,
in
bro?
conflict.
What
I
would
think
you
it'd be a
do?
split second when I was in conflict, but I do think ultimately I probably would lose it, and then I probably wouldn't even just smack him. I probably would. I probably would have done. Like I probably would do more than that.
also the fact that my man's really took that shit to the face, and he kept hosting. So
And
Smack is really
you know what somebody
disrespectful.
said about it that gave me that made me have more props for him taking it is that he didn't even wipe his face after the slap, bro. He didn't even go ah
yeah, no, that's the
ah.
usually if something
It
you
just
like feel it,
yeah.
but
You
his
know, wipe that
hands were
off,
behind
bro.
his back, bro. Like my man's was definitely ready to be like hit because he put his hands behind his back. He leaned forward. He
Yeah.
knew it was coming.
Now we're leaning into the conspiracy
Nah,
theories.
he knew it was coming. It's not conspiracy, bro. Like that's just body. Like he was just like, go ahead, do it, and then he did it, and then he was like, all right. Anyway, like man said, this is the greatest night in television. He wasn't wrong. Man, how long ago was it that we still talking about this damn? And
The slap hung around the world for real, bro.
But wait, but guys, before we're here for 3 hours, because you know how we be. Let's go ahead and give our final thoughts.
all right,
Yeah, you
so
go first.
in
Well, you can go, Richon.
in terms of what Jada said about the slap, yeah, I don't think that was cool to say that about your partner, like partner as in SO business partner, like bro, like look at the situation and figure out a. I don't even feel like this was good PR. Like I don't even feel like this is what good PR was. Like I don't, you know. So I don't
I
agree with
agree.
her statement. To like, bro, I don't care if that's what she feels like. She can feel that, but like to make a public statement about it in such a way, like I feel like that wasn't the right move. Um, in terms of Will, definitely shouldn't have done that. Definitely shouldn't have, especially because he is Will Smith. Like specifically Will Smith. I feel like there's like a long list of people who could have done the same thing, and it would not have meant as much if they did it. Right? Um,
Yeah.
that's it. That's really it.
Yeah, I mean, I second everything he said. This is why I make, just like you said, why I make a statement. Especially, my whole thing is the reason. Like I said before, the reason he even did that was because of you in the first place. You know, whether it was because of the way you reacted, or maybe he just had a change of heart about how he felt about the joke. Whatever the reason is, you were the subject. At the end of the day, you were the impetus for him, doing that. So, uh, why at that point, if it was because of you, why go against them or make a public statement about it? Even if you do feel that way, like Ray said, why just go publicly about it? Um, and again, with Will Smith, as far as him slapping Chris Rock, that should have just been handled privately. If he really felt offended by it on Jada's behalf, he should have told him at a later time or backstage or whenever he felt it was necessary, but just not there at that moment while everybody's watching live on TV. Just was just embarrassing really. But yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, and now comments from the unlocked character because my lighting wants to be shitty.
Thanks.
Uh, uh, yeah, I kind of agree with what you guys said that despite how she feels that like that's irrelevant, I shouldn't care, how she feels, but Yeah, going out, drawing out all your personal business like that all the time is kind of weird, and I don't know what this obsession with doing that is with her. It gives me a little bit of Aisha Curry, that's the feel I'm getting from her,
Yeah.
like trying to compete with the matriarch, I mean the patriarch. But additionally, um, I do believe we should try and be pacifistic as much as possible, up to a point, like as much as feasibly possible. Like we have a friend who says he would rather run than get into a fight. And to me, that I have great respect for him when he said that. It just demonstrates. I feel like you have to have true courage to make yourself look like a fool at just to avoid a situation you think would be like you know irreconcilable. Um, yeah, I think you have to have true courage to put yourself in that situation to accept what others would see as a lower status just to avoid destroying yourself. And also, like I said, um, I respect Chris Rock deeply, and I respect his self control, whether or not that shit was staged or not. But if he smacked me, I don't think I might have had the same composure. I do think I might have flipped out because a smack is really disrespectful. And like the sting, it's the sting. The sting is what would set me over. If it stung, I would lose my shit and start beating the shit out of him. Because that sting is something else. I don't know if you guys have ever been smacked by like a woman. The sting is crazy. Like it doesn't even hurt. It's just the sting after the
Specifically a woman.
smack.
I gotta give, like I said, I gotta give him credit for not wiping that slap, man. I don't know how
Yeah.
he did it. I would
But
have.
hey, so on that note, you can catch us next week. Same bad place, same bad time, same bad channel.
And with
The
that,
All right.
triumvirate.
and with that, we're out of here. In light of some recent developments about the slap at the Oscars, we decided to reconvene and discuss about the new evidence that has come to light. That evidence being the video of like Jada recording Will against his will. That's a weird phrase. His name is Will, but anyway, like you can see that
Against his will.
my man's is clearly hurt in the video. As she's recording him, he's like, "Yo, please, can you not do this? Like, I'm in my house. Like, I don't want to be on camera." And she's like, she calls him like a crybaby, and is like, "Blah blah blah." Watch the Red Table Talk. Advertising her fucking podcast. I know it's ironic, talking shit about her podcast while we're podcasting, but I'm not gonna
So many
talk about
parallels.
someone like if you guys refuse to be on camera. I'm not gonna be like, anyway, these crybabies are gonna be on the podcast. Like that's gross. That was gross to
Yeah.
me. My man's
You
clearly looked
you
hurt.
saw that you saw I don't even like mentioning like I'll think if I really should mention something about work and stop myself if I think it's gonna be too personal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cause I understand like her red table talk is supposed to be healthy communication and blah blah blah, but she isn't really considering how her private life. She is a mother and a wife. And I'm not saying this like I know I'm gonna get bashed, but like her relationships are not like just her. She is in these relationships with other people. And like what she does and what she says will affect the other people in her life, and that's gross. To just be like, all right, I'm selling my experiences for content, but they're not just your experiences. These are
Yeah.
your experiences that you've had at the expense of your other relationships.
Those are loved ones.
Yeah. So that's
I
my
mean,
take on it. Well, go on. I've been talking too much.
yeah. You said a lot of you hit the nail on the head with most of what you said, but also I feel like sometimes even the victims, can be sort of at fault for their own conflicts because I remember I was talking with you about this earlier where I was saying when you reach a point where you can see that a relationship has no love in it anymore, like it's just all the love is gone, you should probably leave as soon as you can because that shit's gonna transform into contempt. And then when your partner has contempt for you, they will actively do as much as they can to make your life miserable because it's like the only source of joy because they don't want to be with you, they don't want to be around you, and then they go out of their way to try and make you uncomfortable. And then now you're just in a relationship or even living with someone who just hates your guts and is always trying to hurt your feelings and always trying to make you feel insecure and always trying to embarrass you in front of others. And you could live that way with this person for years and years and years and just become depressed. And I honestly feel like that is sort of what happened between Will and Jada. I think the love left and it was replaced with her like contempt for him. And that's why she's doing a lot of the things she's doing now.
I was gonna respond to the point you made about her having contempt for him. So, do you think um that contempt that she has, like she's self-aware of this? Like in terms of like obviously she's doing things that is foul or um like it comes off like you said as contempt or like resentment, but she might not be aware that she has any kind of contempt for him. That's just like how she acts. She's careless, right? Or like she does things where like she says too much about her family. Like, so is it really coming from a place of contempt? Like, is she really aware of this, like the effect that she's having, or or you believe like she's like fully aware and she knows exactly like the damage she's doing
It's hard
to
to
him?
tell. It's hard to tell because we don't know these people. I don't know Jada. I don't know Will. I don't know their kids, right? So I can't say with 100% certainty that she's definitely aware of the shit that she's doing or she's not aware of it. But even the fact that we can have this conversation and even speculate this much means we've gained a little too much insight into their private lives. That, like, these are, like, theories that we are postulating. We sound like we're talking about some rom com soap opera shit on TV. You know?
Yeah,
How it's like, oh wow, like, did you see the way that this person is looking at that person? Like, they clearly love him, but she's with this. It sounds goofy as
yeah.
hell.
Some
But these are
Degrassi
real
shit.
people. These are real people, and we're sitting here talking about them.
Are
And
they real people?
I hope so. I mean, kind of don't hope so. Actually, I kind of
Yeah,
hope
I mean,
that they're
because
not real
you
because
know
this
how
is
you know how these famous people are, especially with drama and shit. Almost there, a lot of the things these people do are staged. Like we don't even know if any of this shit's real. It just be the most recent
They
family
could
soap
be
opera that they put it in.
attracted to that attention, even if
Like,
it comes with negative you know negative comments or like people criticizing them.
yeah,
there's
Even
no
because
then,
such thing as bad news.
when I go to the gym, right? Sometimes that annoying show, what is it called? Access Hollywood. That garbage will come on the screen. And sometimes when the Will stuff would come on, I was looking at it. And I also looked at when I was talking about the Kim Kardashian stuff. And the way these people speak, like not even just Kim Kardashian and them, but even like there was a thing with Shawn Mendes and he broke up with his girlfriend and they were talking about it. It seems like they're actors, bro. Like it's just they're talking and I'm just looking at it, I'm just like even every facial twitch is heavily calculated. Like I'm looking at this man talk and I can see that he's under a mask, like he's not allowing himself to really communicate. And I saw the same thing when Kim K was talking and I was like, these people, like you can't live like this. Like clearly that shit starts to affect your mental health, you know?
yeah,
Every
yeah,
aspect a part of every aspect is a part of the brand. Like their entire life is Kim K. Like every post on Instagram, the interactions that you see with her and her kids, all part of her brand. So, like you don't like I said, we don't know these people. We don't know Kim K. We don't know Jada. We don't know Will. We don't know these people. Like we see what they want us to see, really, and I'm
I
not
mean,
liking
even
what
when
I'm
you look
seeing.
at
I'm not liking
Even when
it.
you look at how they have the the reality TV shows, like
Reality
the
TV show.
keeping up with the Kardashians, like you're literally inviting cameras into your home, like into your household. So for you to be comfortable with that, you obviously don't have any problem with attention and all eyes being put on you at all
Even
times. So
beyond that, right? Like, so I was watching this show the other day. I said the other day. It was yesterday. It's called The Ultimatum, right? So people are in a relationship, but they want to get married, or one of the partners wants to get married. So they give their partner a relation, like an ultimatum: marry me or I'm leaving you. So, so the premise of this show is you get 6 couples in this ultimatum state, and then you swap partners for a bit to see if the person you want to get married is truly the person you want to be with. And I'm just like, even before, even before they get to like any actual content, like I'm sitting there watching it with my friend, and we're just discussing like, yo, one, all of these relationships were like 2 years max, 2 years
hmm,
max, 2 years max. They were like 23, like everyone was like 23. They were super young, and I'm just like, some of these people is I think they were talking about it how like this was like their second or first real relationship. I'm like, bro, you're just preying on these young people's like insecurities and fears for content. That's gross. That's gross. And like I'm sitting there watching it and we're discussing it and we're like, yo, like regardless of how you come out this situation, your relationship is ruined. Like if you
yeah,
go through the 3 weeks and you like decide that you really do want to be your partner, this experience is gonna be like there in the back of your mind forever. Like, damn, that person really did like love someone else for 3 weeks. And that's the language that they're using. Like the show has been using, the contestants have been
yeah.
using. They're like, I'm like falling in love with this other person. I'm just like sitting here like, damn, son, it's been like 2 days and you're falling in love with someone else. So it's like I think that's your answer right there. Like I don't know. Like I feel like it's gross. And like I'm sitting here watching this and like I'm like watching myself watching. I'm like, why am I watching this? You know, like I should not be
Yeah.
seeing this part of people's personal lives. Just,
No, that
No such thing as love.
we'll
that
have
show
that
you were
conversation
talking
next time,
about
bro.
that show you were talking about reminded me of an episode of Family Guy when Brian went on a he went on one of those like dating competition shows and before he went into it he was like shitting on it like he was basically saying what we're saying like it's staged, nobody really falls in love with each other at those things, like it's all for all for the people, for the public to see. So then he already came into it with doubt, and then and then when he actually got in it, and he ended up making it to the end, and the girl chose him or whatever. And during that whole process, like they had these moments where they spent like quality time with each other, and you get to know the person. And so he actually started falling for her. And then when the show ended, she dropped him. She was like, "Oh yeah, it was nice meeting you. Have a good one." Like, and he's like, "Wait, what?" And then he ended up stalking her. Like he couldn't get her out of his mind. And she was like, "It was a show, Brian. Like it was a show."
Yeah, it's a show.
I feel like that's how it really be. Like they'll sell you like on this relationship, or that this couple that you're rooting for, that they're really invested in each other, and it's all for show. Because by the time that season ends or that show ends, they're either like you said looking at somebody else that they're in love with supposedly, or they just moving on to, it's like a project. They're moving on to the next work or assignment that's in front of them.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mention that because there have been rumors and even things showing them kind of saying it about the idea that Will and Jada only got married out of a business obligation, that neither really loved each other.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Let's wrap this up. Honestly, everything everything coming out about this incident is gross. It's gross to me. The fact that he slapped Chris Rock shouldn't have happened.
That was
Um,
gross, but funny.
the her statements against her husband. I'm not liking anything that happened in this situation. It's
Yeah.
a whole overall disgusting situation. No matter which way you look at it, I'm not even gonna sit here and pretend that that slap was out of protection or nothing, because he ain't protect shit. He ain't protect shit. Because all that happened after this is more and more people
Her
have
head
been
needed some protection.
all that's happened after this is more and more people have been making fun of Will and Jada. Mostly Will. I've
If
seen
I'm
too many memes
No, it was
about.
cold there. Her head needed the protection,
Nah,
bro.
bro. See, look, like sitting here making fun of. I
yeah,
guess, yo, bro, we're gonna be at your door slapping you next. I guess, like, it's
if I'm
the whole
Chris Rock, I'm
situation.
thinking. If I'm Chris Rock in that situation, I'm thinking, damn man, I took this slap for nothing. Like it didn't even make you guys closer as a
Whole
couple.
thing
Oh
is,
no, no, he didn't take the slap for nothing. That man's ticket sales are going through the roof.
Yeah, that's true.
whole
That's
thing is
true.
gross. I don't like anything. In fact, I'm done talking about this. I'm not talking on this anymore.
Yeah,
Like, it's over.
they don't even deserve the attention we're giving them. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
I said that the attention equals dollar signs.
Yeah, and they are like an object of I guess
Yeah,
laughter at the moment.
they are a cash
Yeah,
cow. Hmm.
yeah,
They're the dead horse. I'm gonna keep on beating until I get all the juice I can
So
get. Yeah.
that's the breaking news segment of this. Back to our
yep,
regularly scheduled program, I guess. Catch you guys later.
yeah. Later.